Hi, and welcome to my build guide. I've been playing in the Betrayal League. This build has been doing fantastic for me in Betrayal League. I've gotten a lot of currency, I've completed a lot of maps, and it's also been a lot of fun. So, what has changed for our build in Betrayal League compared to Delph League? Well, for one, we got a massive buff from the Carcass Shack getting buffed. Carcass Shack got a super big buff this league, and it is doing fantastic for us even more. It got I think a 20% from 50%, so it's a lot of a difference. It's almost triple it. So yeah, it's very good. And we also got another buff that might want to play with, but I don't really play with it because it's kind of a little iffy here. But it is called Warbanner. It's basically a Ura almost kinda. I don't know how you say it really. It basically you grab a banner and you place it down and it gives you increased area effect and adrenaline, which is a damage multiplier, I'm pretty sure. It's not bad, but it's just more offensive abilities, and we really need more damage because we already got so much of it now. So I recommend you just run Valgrace again. Valgrace is an amazing defensive Ura. So yeah, that is about it for our build getting changed. Not a lot has happened to it because it was so great already. So let's show you the gameplay. Okay, so for the map we're going to be doing today is going to be a Shaped Dunes of a map tier 12. And this has a lot of mods on it that are pretty challenging. This is 8 mods from the Val Orb again. These are all very... This is going to be about as hard as the map we're going to be doing normally. So this should be a good showcase of the build. So without further ado, let's get started. Also, this is worth mentioning. The Syndicates in Material League are very challenging right now. They might get nerfed in the future, so this video might be out of date on that respect. But in order to beat the Syndicates, I recommend you use the Val Worship Totems and also the Val Grace when you're fighting them. That's going to be a big leg up on them, and also you'll probably burst them down fast enough to kill them almost instantly. So if you are dying to the Syndicates with this build or any other build, I recommend you try and use the Val skills. The Val skills help a lot with bursting down things.
Was that really necessary? I'm a man of my word.
My mana is gone.
Okay, so now let's show you my gear. For gear, we use a Starforge. This is our main weapon right here. If you're leveling and you're trying to get money, you use a Kondo's Pride. Kondo's Pride can be used from level 61 all the way up to about tier 13 maps, I would say. That's where it starts to fall off a little bit, but you can use a Kondo's prog all the way up to like about tier 13s. After that point, you're going to need a Starforge in order to keep progressing and doing more damage. So yeah. Our Starforge gives us a lot of damage though, a lot of life, our physical damage shock, of course, which is amazing, and also increased area effect. And for our helmet, we use a Devotos. Devotos is the best helmet you can use for a Cyclone build. It's just more move speed, more attack speed. It's great. Definitely get Devotos if you can. Nothing else needs to be said about it, really. It's just very great. For Amulet, we use a Carnage Heart. This gives us more damage while leeching. This gives us a ton of attributes, so we don't have to take any stat nodes. It also gives us some res, which is nice as well. And increases our life leech, so even better. That is a top tier amulet for our build. Definitely get that if you can. For our chest plate, we use a Carcass Jack. Carcass Jack is an amazing chest plate, and it got even better in this update. This update buffed it by a lot. Now it gives us a ton of area effect damage and also a ton of area effect in general. So very helpful. Definitely buy a Carcass Jack if you can. It is amazing. For rings, we use pretty basic rings. This is basically our stat fillers here that we need. So typically you want to get life, any res you need, and then a little bit of intelligence if you can. So for this one, we just want life and a lot of res. For this one, we want a lot of intelligence and a lot of res that we can get on this thing. That's about it for rings. For our Tomb Fist, for our gloves, we use a Tomb Fist. Tomb Fist is an amazing glove. This gives us attack speed, it gives us life, and also it allows us to socket a Abyssal Jewel in here for Intimidate. Intimidate is a great modifier. I think it is about 15% increased damage in your enemies that you intimidate, so it's amazing. And for our boots, we just use normal boots right here. This is actually a critical part of the build right here that you need to get. From the Uber Lab, you want to get a boot enchant called Increase Chance to Shock or something like that, 10% chance to shock. You want to try and get that on your boot. That is how you shock using the Starforge. You need that on your boots. It's very important that you get that. I have not gotten it yet though. But for the rest of the stats in boot, you just want movement speed as a critical part of the build, and also life, and then any res that you need. And for our belt, we can use any kind of belt that we really want here. This is mainly our stat filler as well. So for this one, I'm using a Abyssal belt because I found it with a lot of life, a lot of res, and also damage. So yeah. And then for flasks, we use Internal Life Flask, Jade Flask, Quicksilver Flask, Lying's Roar, and also a Basalt Flask. Nothing else can be really said about that. You can find the mods on the build guide. Don't really need to go in depth on that one. Now for gems. For gems on our weapon here, we use Ancestor Warchief Val version, Ruthless, Melee Physical Damage Support, Brutality, Bloodlust, and then Melee Damage and Full Life if you have a 6 link. I only have a 5 link right now, so I'm using that right now. Nothing really to be said about that. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just more damage, basically. A lot more damage. For our helmet, we use Phase Run, Increased Duration, Immortal Call level 8, which is important. You need to have it level 8. And also Cast and Shaking level 6. Also very important. You need to keep these at that level exactly. For for our chest plate, we use Maim, Melee Fizz, Increased Area Effect, or Conk Effect, either one. Cyclone, Brutality. If you have a 6 link, you would put in Melee Damage and Full Life. I do not have a 6 link right now though, so I am just using a 5 link. For our gloves, we use Faster Attack Support, Summon Flame Golem, Leap Slam, and for our Abyss Jewel, we use a Mirror's Eye Jewel for the Intimidate buff. For our Abyss Jewels, you want to basically be aiming for life and physical damage to attacks, which is very nice. And then for our belt, we use a Searching Eye Jewel here. It can be any Eye Jewel, doesn't need to be anything like that. Any Abyss Jewel will work here, but we want life, any sort of damage at all you can get on this thing. That works for our build. So as any physical, any attack speed, anything like that. I went mostly life and attack speed on this one though. For our boots, we use Herald of Purity, Vulnerability, Grace, well actually Val Grace, this is important, unique Val Grace. We actually don't use the Grace Ura, we just use Val Grace. And then Blasphemy Support for the Vulnerability. Okay, now that is about it for gems and jewels. Let's go to Pantheons. For Pantheons, we use Soul of Lunaris, Soul of Gruthkul, Soul of Solar. Okay. So for mapping, you use Soul of Lunaris and Soul of Gruthkul. For bossing, you use Soul of Solaris and Soul of Gruthkul. Now, if you're doing Uberlab and like that kind of stuff, you would be using Soul of Rislatha and Soul of Solaris for Uberlab. That is so you have a flask if you get stuck between two traps, and you don't have to die then. So yeah, Soul of Rislatha is very good for Uberlab. But typically, you're going to be using Soul of Lunaris and Gruthkul because you're going to be mapping or just clearing out rooms. Now for passive tree. For our Ascendancies, we do Void the Poacher first, Rapid Assault second, Avatar of the Chase third, and Avatar of the Slaughter fourth. This is the best way to level this up. You get your damage, you get your speed, all that kind of stuff. I recommend you do it this way. It's easily the best way to do it. And then for our leveling skill trees, that's all going to be on the written guide. I'm not going to go up in depth on that in the video. If you want to level this build up, go below in the description and you can find the written guide that has leveling skill trees, what to take, that kind of stuff. All of it far better worded and explained. Also way better for a reference guide because you don't have to pause the video then. So I highly recommend use the written guide for leveling and also using the build. This should be used as a reference video and also to see if you like the build or not. So anyways, we basically just grab a lot of life, a lot of damage, your typical Cyclone build stuff here. We also grab a ton of frenzies because we're a raider, so we can take advantage of those. And yeah, we basically just try and grab every single life node and damage node available to us that's within reach. And yeah, we basically run to Resolute Technique as fast as possible so we can get our hits can't be evaded, which is very great for a Cyclone build. Some would say it's basically a must, and I agree. Okay, so that's going to be it for the video today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to leave them below. I'll bet as I can. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like. It'll be very helpful to help other people find the build. And also, just thank you for watching. I have a Twitch channel you can go to as well. It has my live gameplay. You can get live answers as well. So if you like my content, give me a follow to see when I go live. And yeah, I have a Discord as well that you can go to and find below in the description. Same with the Twitch channel. That is a basic community for my people who watch my builds and also do my builds and also just watch my streams. So there's a lot of great people in there, all very friendly. I recommend you give it a try. And yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you for watching this video. If you like my content, give me a subscription as well. See when I make my new videos. Yeah, have a great day and peace.